Okay, this is my review on the Seiko SNE499 PADI Solar Tuna. You can see this is a special edition PADI version, and it's most noted by the red and blue accents. It's got that on the dial. I mean the bezel insert, as well as usually they have like a red hand, and sometimes they have it around the other places on the dial. They do this kind of wave pattern. I think this has been done on the Samurai, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe some other ones, some other PADI editions of Seiko divers. And yeah, this is a really cool watch that is an homage, essentially, to Seiko's own Marine Master 300 tunas, which have the shroud, and they are a little bit bigger. I believe this one measures, let's go over the specs real quick, should be 46. Sorry, I can't do it behind the camera. Let's see, I think it's right about there. 45.6. That's diagonal from here to 10, the 40 to the 10. And let me just try that again. All right. Yeah, just about 45 and a half. That's not too bad considering the full-size tuna usually is. Let me just double check something here. Yeah, maybe even closer to, let me see, this is zeroed. Oh, that's not enough to throw it off. Yeah. So yeah, so I think the Seiko, well, they kind of vary in sizes. I think the more higher water resistance, when you go up from beyond 300 up to 1,000, those are even larger, like at 50, I think. But let's see here. Yeah, so the stock bezel, the shroud, is about 46, just over 46. And that is one reason why I did switch and upgrade it to this Yobokies stainless steel shroud. It's brushed. It looks better, and it does give a slightly lower profile if you measure the shroud, which is probably the largest part of the watch. And when you do shrink that down, I would note that the screws that you reuse from the shroud, they protrude a little bit more out of this case, I mean this shroud, because the shroud was a little bit thicker, so it kind of took up that thickness or width, and so they look a little bit more sunken in, maybe slightly more flush, not completely. Actually, you can see here on this other one I have, this is like the golden tuna. This is how it would basically look like and fit. You can see how those screws kind of set in more. It doesn't look bad. I mean, it's a tool watch, and give it that real industrial look. So yeah, this is very wearable compared to the 47, I think 48 almost, of the, maybe just shy of 48, like the SBBN 033, which I used to have. And the thickness is also much thinner, since it's a quartz solar 11, I see, just under 12 millimeters, versus I think the thinnest Marine Master 300, like the SBBN 033 that I used to own. I think that was at least 14 millimeters thick, something like that. Yeah, so you get a more compact, thinner profile tuna. Although those large ones are quite wearable since they're completely round shaped. The lugs barely protrude, if not, I think, partially recessed in. I mean, you can see here. See if I can do it. Kind of hard to measure behind the camera. See, it's pretty relatively short, 45.5 lug to lug, and that's if you count the actual spring bars, that's actually inset a little bit more too, like by at least 2 millimeters, right? One on each side or so. So 45, and it's about 45 across too, right? So yeah, it's 45.5. Yeah, it's a very good length. And then the best thing about these is that they're so short, and they underhang the case. You see how that it comes below the bottom of the case, so it really conforms to your wrist, as you'll see here. I'll do a wrist shot later. Comes in this really nice dark blue leather strap, rubber strap. This is one of the better ones that they put out recently. Very pliable, it's good stuff. Contrary to what looks like, actually the lint doesn't really stick to it as much as some other like really silicone based rubber straps. And yeah, it's very comfortable, and it's got these ridges so that you can tighten it. When you go into water, your skin compresses, so it'll loosen up, but since you would have tied it tighter, these naturally tighten along with the compression, so you get a pretty good fit even if you go in the water. That's kind of what that's for. It's got a nice brushed keeper here, as well as a hardware signed, and I believe on the full charge, different lighting sources will charge it, a different rate, but once it's fully charged, I believe they said you can go about 10 months without a charge. So, I mean, unless you plan to be in darkness for 10 months without any type of light source, it'll still kind of get charged throughout that time. So pretty much you don't have to worry about really ever charging this. And I think if it does go low, I'm pretty sure it skips like every 2 seconds is an indicator. Yeah. And it has bicolored lume, so I'm going to try to show this. Then this is pretty much just on the PADI that has like the blue and green Lume Bright. I'll try to show you this right here. There you go. I'm trying to turn off some of the other lights. Hang on. Okay, this totally pissed me off. Part of my recording got stopped for some reason. So I am going to have to redo this. I ended up with the bicolored lume. So let's just charge this up again. So it makes sense to have this. Has green minute to match the minute markings. That's critical from 0 to 15 in the dark. And that's the only one that does that because, like, for instance, this one, it's all green. And most of the other ones will be all green. So that's kind of nice. And in the daytime, this one, the red minute hand matches the red indicator too. So, it makes sense. It's critical information for a diver. That's why it's got the color the way it is. I did the measurements on this, but yeah, it's very short lug to lug. And I'll just show it to you on the wrist first before I guess I got to go back to the stainless steel oyster bracelet later. I did show it on there, but damn it, the recording stopped on me. So yeah, see, you can see how it comes down really low, close, on my 6.875 inch wrist. So yeah, this is very comfortable, and even the larger one had no problem fitting on my wrist too. These, don't be scared by the dimensions. They really were smaller than you'd think. I mean, you can compare this to like a 41 millimeter Christopher Ward here. It's not all that different. In fact, I think this has a shorter lug to lug a little bit. So let's put this on here again. So because I think somebody asked me, they wanted to see how it looked like on the bracelet. And so I'm going to do that real quick, and because you have drilled lug holes, doing this is much easier. I think really all watches should have drilled lug holes. It just makes sense to have access to, especially if it's a tool watch or some sort of really good strap master. Give us that option. So get this done soon here. Okay, this is how it looks like on the bracelet. And you can put any one with straight end links on here and it'll be fine. This looks good on a Jubilee actually too, and a end mill, which is kind of like a presidential. People like the engineer style, which is it's got like it's kind of a mix of, it's kind of like a Jubilee, but it's just got a lot of smaller links and stuff. Just look them up under strap code or something, and you'll see. And yeah, looks great. Very nice and metallic. And so it definitely gives a nice different look. Let me wipe this up. There we go. On the wrist. Put this up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back because I do need just need to put it back on the strap. I'll show you how easy it is. So yeah, I definitely recommend this watch. If you like this Seiko Tuna style, but don't want to spend crazy, like, you know, use probably 700-800 starting, depending on what model, and then it goes up, like, first new is closer to 1,000, and even much higher if you get like the, you know, like the ones with the not deeper depth rating, like 1,000 meters, as well as I think there are some with spring drive too, if I'm not mistaken. So, and then, you know, you're gonna be in the thousands, obviously, but they are great watches. And if you like this kind of look, and this one, and there's a black one, you know, silver with black, the 497. This is the 498. And then I forget what the reference is for the Save the Ocean version. It's got the blue wave pattern. It's a little bit more broader, you know, and the wave pattern ends blue, kind of two-color blue bezel insert. Those have the, what do I say, the more classic original handset and dial with the indices with the round triangle like that, and the, you know, which looks actually better than the newest ones, where it looks kind of like an SKX more, the dial, and they use, like, I guess more like monster hands. Yeah, so I would go for this if you could, because it gets that more classic look. And then they do have some other ones. I think the previous Solar Tunas have more of a this is different. They don't have this Lume bezel insert for one thing, which is pretty cool because you can see it's got like it's translucent, so, and it's got like the numbers are raised. It's got a 3D look to it. It's got kind of a sapphire, or what I like to say is almost like a Bakelite look to it. And I've seen somebody, maybe not in this one, but maybe another one, I think he wet sanded it, or you can maybe possibly take polywash, something, to just smooth it out and polish it, that matte finish off, and make it more of a shine, and that'll look pretty cool too. Look a little bit deeper in a way. I was thinking of doing it with this, but I actually am selling this. Actually, it has been sold. I just need to get this review out before I ship it off. So, I'll explain it later. I don't have time today why. This is a great watch, but bottom line is, I got to thinking I wanted something more classic, and what I sell this for and can get back. I think this was a good switch to go with something that was homage to the golden tuna of today and days past. You know, gold and black, it's a cool color. And I mean, it's interesting, but I actually never been the biggest fan of this kind of wave texture dial. Most of the time it's dark enough. It looks almost black or dark gray, and from a distance, whatever. It's only when it catches a reflection and you see it more that you pick up that texture. I don't know, I just like a more plainer, plain dial. That's one thing. I was going to try to switch to the Save the Ocean, do a blue and silver version, but it also has a wave pattern, which I'm still not too keen on, and it has a black crown, which I don't like. If I was going to reuse the Shroud on that one, the black crown would kind of stick out, and there's no good way to change this. And even if I could get another one in silver, I didn't want to open this and compromise the seal. Yeah, you know, the alternative would take some sort of coating stripper and kind of dip it in, and hopefully I can, you know, brush it off and remove it like paint remover. But I didn't want to do that, you know, so I decided to go something like this, and I'll talk about this one more later. Anyways, I think I need to wrap up, so I hope I didn't miss anything here. It's a great size for all wrists, for around $200 something, $250, $300, depending on where you get it from. This is a great way to get Tuna style, but in a more compact form. Definitely lower profile, and you know, way less than expensive than the big MM300 and above Tunas. The Shroud costs about 90, maybe $100 from Yobokies. That's where I got this from. Definitely would encourage you to get that. I don't really care for plastic shrouds. This is an exception because the original had a ceramic and it's not metal, but although I may switch to a black DLC stainless steel one later on, but they're out of stock. But I'm happy with it as it is. But I think it looks a lot better. It really helps define the shape and the classic Tuna look more with the metal one. That's how I like it, and it's also not as thick. You know, it would be just a little bit thicker by about a millimeter, not much, but just, you know, I think this is about 46.3 versus, if I measured it right, this is about closer to 45.3. Yeah, so if there isn't anything else, you got the Lume shot. I think that's it. I'll try to keep this under 20 minutes, hopefully, if I did. Have any questions, feel free to ask. You like this, want more, always subscribe and give a thumbs up. That always helps any YouTuber keep their presence up and encourages them to do a better job and all of that. Oh, it's kind of washed out by the reflection. And that's it. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. And I don't know what review will be up next. Maybe my Alpinist. All right, later.